Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Bwtm Sports. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button. So for the first time in 2022, we're doing a crossover. You know I'm the king of crossovers, and I could talk about the amount of crossovers I've done in my time. And I'm all for one for bringing people onto the show and introducing people to our audience. You know how it goes, introducing them to your audience, and then they subscribe to the channel. I wish them all the very best. So we have a new man in the room, a man that has been in the room a few times and has commented on while we're doing shows. But now I'm going to be introducing my guest, none other than the J. Roos theory, or J. Roos. Good evening, sir.
Hey, salute, man. Shout out to you, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I love your show. You're one of the few boxing channels that I go to. There's some out there that are just, you know, not my cup of tea, but like you and a few others, man. I'm always here checking you out. You got some great interviews.
Appreciate that, brother. While you're at it, before we go into anything, tell us about the other channels you do watch, so people can check out the kind of people you kind of like to watch.
Yeah, my bro Andrew Tucker World, you know, shout out to him. Young Billy Boxing, Boxing Wave, Showbiz the Adult.
That's an old school one there, Boxing Wave. Absolutely, an old school there. Yeah, I love the old school guy.
He's a real good guy too.
Yeah.
And I used to watch Mr. Boxing Today too. He talks mainly about heavyweights, but he hasn't done a video in a while, so I don't know. But of course, I watch Kurt from Counterpunch Boxing News and Showbiz. Yeah,
wow,
Showbiz.
Okay. So let me start this off by let's do things a little differently. What made you decide to get into watching certain YouTube channels? What attracted you to YouTube channels? Or what do you look for in a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I look for people that really know the sport and they're not you know, not into the fanboyism or, you know, so a lot of these boxing channels, they get offended easily. You know, you say something about their fighter and they're ready to shoot you or something. I kind of stay away from those, or the guys that just kind of watch ESPN and get their opinions off of television rather than, you know, actually knowing the fight game.
Yeah, bit painful when that happens. Bit painful. No few people like that.
Right.
Bit painful, yeah. And when you talk about their fighter, there was an era and there was a time where Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, it was like Pacquiao would beat Floyd, Pacquiao would beat Floyd, and Floyd would beat Pacquiao. And I said, you know what? People built their whole channel on one fighter, yeah? You could tell. And as soon as Pacquiao lost, a lot of those channels just bombed. They're like, I mean, I'm like, you can't be doing this shit on one guy. Pacquiao, he's not even paying you. He's not even paying you any money. You know what I mean? You're defending this man right with your whole life and everything. Like, okay, right, bro. And then channel just go doom, and I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. But yeah, it's been a few of those. There's been a few of those around.
Yeah.
What for you when you talk about fanboyism? Let's go into this. When you talk about fanboyism, when is it you can detect someone's a fanboy? When do you get that fanboy alert? Or that kind of like a spider sense. It's a fanboy alert that comes up, yeah? When do you get that?
Yeah, I kind of get it when the fighter can do no wrong. You know, he can go out and rob a bank and they justify it. Well, you know, he was short of cash to pay his rent that month, so what's he supposed to do? You know, stuff like that. You know, and like, I mean, anything, he could lose every round in the fight, and they'll, you know, like the Deontay Wilder situation. You know, they spiked my water, and then everybody, they spiked his water. The refs was in on it. The fans were in on it. The crowd was in on it. You know, so it's like, dude, come on. It's like,
well, yeah, there's that, and there's one where their fighter, it's like when they talk about their fighter, suddenly they start adding things to their fighter. No, the guy's not got a good chin. Oh, he can take a great shot.
Yeah.
No, he's been dropped about 10 times, knocked out about 4 times. Hey, he can take a great shot.
Right.
Yeah, he's a power puncher. 20 fights, 5 KOs. Oh, where that come?
Right. Yeah.
Since he's changed trainers, he's a mega puncher. I haven't seen that yet. He's got fast feet. No, every time I've seen him fight, he's been a bit of a plodder. He moves his head well, really great head movement. No, every time I've seen this guy fight, he's always getting flipped back by a jab. So, where exactly what fights are you watching? Yeah, but it says on ESPN, it says on Sky Sports, this media outlet said, you mean that media outlet that is connected to the promoter? Right, of course. Yeah, sure, they're going to say something controversial, different to what the promoter wants. Sure.
Right. Yeah, that's a bit of a conflict of interest right there.
Conflict of interest, does that happen in boxing? Never.
No.
It doesn't happen.
I've never seen that.
So we talked about fanboyism. Your journey, how did you get into boxing yourself? I mean, did you box yourself, or how did you get into boxing?
Yeah, I grew up in Southeast San Diego, so I was trained by Archie Moore's son, Billy Moore, back in like
wow.
Real good guy. My difficulty was I couldn't find sparring with hardly any heavyweights, so I'd have to like spar middleweights and stuff like that. Then I moved to Georgia, got married and divorced, and that kind of I still train every day, but I never went professional, but that was the plan at the time. And I just been a big fight fan. Like the 90s was my era. Like the first big fight I ever watched was Holyfield versus Larry
Holmes.
Larry Holmes, yeah.
I remember that fight. Wasn't that the fight that after the fight that Larry Holmes vomited?
Oh, he did?
Yeah, after the fight, yeah. At the end of the fight, Holmes, at the end of the fight, if you watch it, he finishes the fight, gumshoe comes out and goes,
oh, wow.
Yeah, Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield. I remember the fight well. And that was around the time that Larry Holmes, I think he had that run where I could be wrong, but I think he had that run where he fought he fought Ray Mercer, and I think he beat Ray Mercer.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He beat Ray Mercer. I think that might have been the title shot of Holyfield. I could be wrong there. But yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember Larry Holmes.
Didn't they accuse Ray Mercer of trying to bribe Larry Holmes to fall down or something?
Yeah, Mercer's been on this channel, so I'm not going to say that.
I like Ray Mercer, by the way.
I like Ray Mercer. So I won't go fanboy on you, but I need to be careful what I say about Ray Mercer.
Yeah.
No, all due respect, I remember Ray Mercer talking to him when he talked about the Holyfield fight, and I said, Holyfield dropped you. And he said to me, Holyfield's a dirty fighter, and he elbowed me or something like that. So, but Ray Mercer, good fighter, but Larry Holmes that night was on fire, and he outboxed Ray Mercer. I was like, what am I watching here? At one point, I think he turned to Larry Holmes looked to the camera and said, watch this. And he threw a combination. Ray Mercer's going, what am I watching here? And I was a big Ray Mercer fan. And he was beating the crap out of Ray Mercer. I'm going, this is Ray Mercer.
Yeah.
This is the dude that punched up Tommy Morrison. This is the dude now. Yeah, this is the dude now that's getting beat up by like ancient Larry Holmes. I'm like, I can't believe what I'm watching. Wow. The 90s.
Yeah, that's when Larry Holmes had that winning streak. He used to come on Tuesday night fights, and that jab of his was something else.
You remember when he fought Butterbean? You remember when he fought Butterbean?
I don't remember. He fought Butterbean. I don't even remember that.
That was it. Happened again. Butterbean's been on this channel as well. Yeah, he fought Butterbean. That was quite interesting. Yeah.
Who won that?
Larry won just by the jab. It was interesting, just by the jab. But it was interesting because Butterbean, as you know, likes to go for it. But the jab of Larry, you can't beat the classic jab of Larry Holmes. It was really good to watch, and one of the best jabs ever in heavyweight boxing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The 90s. Bert Cooper comes to mind.
Oh, Burt Cooper Holyfield, what a fight that was.
Yeah. Actually,
Wow.
it was that night that I became a big fan of Evander Holyfield because
Oh, I can see why, yeah.
because for me, I like to see a fighter come back from adversity. When a guy comes back from adversity, when I know he's been hit, he's been hurt, and he comes back, I'm like, that's it. That's your ticket. That's your. I know if you get hit, and I know if you get hurt, you can come back. There's a possibility that you can come back. Until I see that in a fighter, I've always got reservations. Because I think myself, if you get nailed with a good shot, how do you respond? You can be
Right.
ahead in the scorecards doing everything right, and then you get hit with one shot, bang, and you're like, ah. So I always like to make sure it's almost like a criteria. He's got to be able to do the distance, got to be able to take a good punch, got to be able to, maneuver, got good defense, good offense,
Yeah.
know when to engage, when not to engage, but that being able to rally, to come back. And Evander Holyfield, that night I thought, that's my boy, Evander Holyfield. I've seen him fight in other fights before, when he fought Dwight Muhammad Kawi to become cruiserweight. I was light heavyweight cruiserweight champion of the world.
Yeah, cruiserweight.
I think it was the last 15 rounder, actually. The last 15 rounder. And it was Evander Holyfield. That fight was, for me, that's when I loved Evander.
Yeah, he's one of the toughest fighters ever. I mean, I think he said he thought about retiring after that fight with Kwawi because it was just so brutal on his body. I think he said he lost like 15 pounds or something during that fight.
Yeah. And that was amazing
just it was, man. And I remember those fights well. Those were just some hardcore, gritty fights, man.
You'd be very rare to see a guy with so little fighting a guy as experienced and as dangerous as Dwight Muhammad Kawi. He was a
yeah, definitely.
Huh?
And what you said is true about wanting to see a fighter hurt and come back. I remember hearing the old time trainers didn't even consider you great unless you had like 1 or 2 losses. They needed to know you came back from something. If you went I guess 20-0, they're like, you must be fighting,
bums. They'll say that to you. Cab drivers.
Right.
Back in the day, Nigel Bell would say, he's a country, but Mexican road sweepers. That's what they are. Gomez, Sanchez, who are they? That's what you say back in the day. Yeah, well, Nigel Benn for you. But wow.
Yeah, man.
Who else was around in the 90s? Oh, Tommy Morrison, Razor
Tommy
Ruddock.
Morrison. Yeah, Razor Ruddock. You remember a guy named Joe Hip?
Of course. Remember Joe Hip? He was losing a fight, Joe Hip, and he turned the fight around. He was losing a fight. He was getting beaten.
Wow.
Was it Joe? Yeah, sure, it was Joe Hip. No, that's Joe. That's Messi. I was Joe Hip with baby Messi.
Messi, yeah.
And it was Morrison that was losing the fight against Joe Hip, and he hit with the left hook.
He got his jaw broken.
And he knocked him out the left hook. Yeah, I always mix Joe Hip up with baby Messi. Mixing 2 guys up. Yeah, Joe Hip. I remember the fight well. Wow.
Yeah, those are some good fight. I used to like back when VHS was around, I'd record all the fight hype, I record the fights. And so when VHS kind of played out, I started transferring over to DVD. So
I wasn't so fortunate. I had to order DVDs from America, get them in, because I think some of those fights were not shown prime time at that time. I think we just got into having a Sky dish and stuff like that. But I do remember back in the day, you're now bringing back fights to me. Lennox Lewis, Levi Billups. Did you see that fight? Have you seen that fight?
Yeah. Levi Billups was from my city of San Diego. I remember that. Yeah.
That was a good fight.
That was a tough guy.
Underrated fight, Lennox Lewis, because he was fighting on the inside, 4-5 punch combinations, boxing on the outside. That was a really good fight for Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis is my favorite fighter of all time. In fact, I named my son after him.
That's an honor. That's a big honor. I feel honored to have you to take my name. because I'm the champion. Holyfield and Tyson. I mean, them boys can't test me.
Yeah, no guy can.
No guy. See. I changed him from Hazim Rahman to Has-Been Rahman.
Yeah, right. That was I think I enjoyed that victory more than when he beat Mike Tyson, because Hasim was just running off at the mouth. I'm like, dude, he won the first fight. Even Emmanuel Stewart said he came over to me and said he was just about to quit before he stopped Lennox Lewis in the first fight. And then once he forgot and he started thinking he was indestructible, and then he got decapitated in the rematch. That was the loudest punch. That was the loudest combo I ever heard. It was like,
yeah, I remember it. Again, Hasim Rahman's been on this channel as well, and shout out to Hasim Rahman. Good sport, and he is so knowledgeable in sport of boxing. Great guy. Yeah. But I think you need characters like that in boxing. You really do.
It makes it interesting. Yeah. I mean, him and Lennox Lewis are cool now.
Yeah. But I remember the time when Hasim Rahman got on to Lennox's skin. He says, "Come on, Lion, come on, let's see what you can do now, man. Let's see." And Lennox lost his mind.
Oh yeah.
Say, bring your sister. You saying I'm gay? You saying I'm gay? Yeah. Right. Bring your sister. What would you say, man? You bring your sister, man.
Yeah, I still remember that, man. I was like, I wonder too why they had them sitting so close. I'm like, don't they know? Like, they're like sitting right by. I'm like, they're like, something's gonna happen.
The best one still is Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. You ain't gonna knock none of that out. I'm gonna knock you out. You don't do that. You ain't doing shit. I'll never come off my feet. You need help from the ref. I'm gonna knock you out. Well, do it then.
You know what? Me and my buddy used to say, like if you listen closely, it sounds like Lennox Lewis dropped the N-bomb on Riddick Bowe right there. It sounded like he said, you ain't nothing to me, N-bomb. If you turn it up, real.
I can play that clip. I can play that clip all day and all night and laugh every time I see it.
Yeah, that was funny, man. Yeah.
And that fight never got made.
Nah, Riddick. I heard an interview where Emmanuel Stewart said that Eddie Futch actually said he told he didn't want Riddick Bowe to fight Lennox Lewis. So I never knew that back then.
Yeah. He didn't want any part of it, man.
No.
On the channel, we recently actually there was a small feature on it done by Ellie Setback. And Ellie went up to Riddick Bowe, and Riddick Bowe was walking in. He was walking into the arena, and Lennox was sitting down. Oh, so funny. Lennox was sitting down, and he saw Bowe, and he's like this. So
I saw. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw that.
Bowe ducks him, goes shaking that like, Lennox, now we're all friends now. Lennox is like,
yeah. Yeah, because you never know what Riddick Bowe you're getting. Like he tried to fight him like a couple years ago. Remember they were all on the stage or something?
Yeah. And when I looked at Lewis, I said, you know what? That's right there is the real Lennox Lewis. That one's in there. That's the one. And I said, afterwards I asked him, Ellie asked him when Lennox was walking off, real cool. That's not Lennox. The one that was sitting down was Lennox. He's walking off. Lennox. So what do you think? Can you be friends with Riddick Bowe? We can all get along. Yeah, right.
Yeah. That was funny, man. I used to love the exchanges, man, because Riddick had a lot of talk, but he definitely didn't want no parts of Lewis. I think Riddick Bowe's best fight was probably his first fight with Holyfield, and then his fight with Jorge Luis Gonzalez. You remember the Cuban?
Yeah. What about the Herbie High fight?
I forgot about that. Yeah, I think Herbie had hurt him for a little bit in that fight. I think Herbie got his attention.
He's saying that Herbie High hit him harder than any other heavyweight has ever hit him.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
That's what he said. Wow. But I would ask Bo maybe the question: how hard did Andrew Galotta hit you? Because he hit him a lot and hit him hard to the body. He hit him everywhere.
I noticed right after the first fight, his speech was slurring. Right after in the interview, after the Galotta fight, that's when his speech started messing up. Wow. So Galata could punch. He wasn't the toughest guy mentally. You know,
No, he wasn't.
he would try to get out of the fight. Remember when he quit against Mike Tyson?
When
When
he quit
he was
against
fighting?
Lennox Lewis, his face.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When he first got knocked down, he looked like he was in shock. Like, what just happened?
What am I here? What happened?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just got hit by Lennox Lewis. That's what happened, bro. And
Yeah,
Roos coming.
I picked Lewis to win, but I had no idea it was gonna happen that fast.
Like that. No, I didn't think that was.
Yeah.
No one thought it was going to happen like that.
Yeah,
No one. Everyone thought that Glotter was going to give Lennox some problems on the night, and
Yeah.
Glotter got trashed. And I remember Glotter when Tyson hit him and he went down and he got like, no, I don't want no more of this. I don't want any more of this.
he was fighting his corner man harder not to fight than he was fighting Mike Tyson. He's like, I ain't going back out there.
I'm not going back there again. And he's like, get back in there, fight, get back in there. And there's the trainers there looking,
Yeah, he's
going,
like, nah.
don't embarrass me, Sly. Don't embarrass me. This, what are you doing? You're really fighting. This, we're going to pay for this. I'm like,
No, he didn't want parts of that. No, not at all. I think Galata had a lot of anxiety issues. They said he stopped breathing for a little while after the Lennox Lewis fight in the dressing room. When the doctors were checking him out, they said he stopped breathing briefly.
Well, I don't understand. What was his motivation with Riddick Bowe? Why in 2 fights against Riddick Bowe, you had no anxiety and he walked through Bowe's punches? What was he on? What did Bowe say to him?
I know. Yeah, it makes you wonder. It's like, I don't know. Galata was a strange guy. Like his corner said they would have a whole training camp where he's taught to not throw any low blows, and then he goes right out and throws the low blows. Like, I don't know. He was an odd guy.
Low blow.
Yeah, he was
Very
an odd guy. I saw him. You remember when he bit that Samoan fighter? It was on, I think, Tuesday Night Fights. They were in the clinic and he bit him right here on the neck.
Yeah, I remember. Andrew Galata. Legendary for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, right. Right.
Who else was around that time? We had Oliver McCall was in the 90s, wasn't he?
Yeah, Oliver McCall.
Tony Tucker.
Tony. Oh yeah, I remember that fight because Lewis was the first guy to knock him down.
Yeah. I also remember Tucker coming back in that fight. Actually, that was a fight. Again, that's a fight where Lennox Lewis impressed me enough to say, I really love that fight because Tucker started landing punches on Lewis. Round 8, I remember it, and Tucker just landed a good shot and landed 4 or 5 punches. And Lennox just laid on the ropes, he just top. Yeah. Pushed Tucker off, and then hit him with 1-2. I went straight back at Tucker. I thought, right, this guy's got some fighting art. Tick. And then I was like a big Lennox fan. But then he got knocked out by Oliver McCall. I'm like, mate, Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis have both got something in common. When they got knocked down, they never went on to win a fight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. Right.
Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, when they got knocked down in a fight, they never went on to win a fight. Mike Tyson never got off the deck to win a fight. And Lennox Lewis never got off the deck to win a fight. Never. None of them.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Never got off the deck to win a fight.
Yeah, like I said, I was the biggest Lennox Lewis fan, and I knew his most dangerous opponents were the guys that weren't like a big name, like a Oliver McCall or kind of like Andy Ruiz and Joshua. It's like those guys that you don't really hear about are the ones that can cause you some damage.
He was always dangerous. I remember him sparring with Holyfield.
Yeah,
he was dangerous fight, very dangerous fight, Andy Ruiz, very dangerous.
I think Holyfield, that's why he retired, because he couldn't do anything against Ruiz when they sparred. He said, Ruiz is a tough guy.
Ruiz, fast hands, good chin, a combination puncher. Probably the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. I would agree. Faster. I don't know who's got faster.
I said before the first Joshua fight, I did a video saying, will this be Joshua's toughest fight? Because I had seen Ruiz's previous fight. What was that guy he fought that was real tall, but he knocked him out? And I was like, oh, this guy could be a problem. I think a Swedish fighter, or German. I remember it was outdoors, and Ruiz just dominated him.
Not Dimachenko.
Was it? I think it
Might
was.
be
Yeah,
Dimachenko. Could be
I
Dimachenko.
think it
Could have been
was.
Dimachenko.
I think so.
Yeah, could have been him. Could have been him. Could have been Dimachenko.
When I saw that though, I was like, oh wow, he might be a problem.
Yeah, he ended up being a big problem. 90s heavyweights. Where did you rank Frank Bruno back in the day?
Wow. Actually, the first time I had ever seen Frank Bruno was his fight against Lewis. I hadn't seen his fight with Mike Tyson, so I was like, man, this guy's a real big, tough guy, you know. So he's giving Lewis some problems in that fight, and like I said, I had never seen him before, so I was like, man, this guy could be a threat to the division. But I was impressed with his toughness, you know, because even with all those shots he was taking, he still didn't fall. He was just kind of out on his feet.
Yeah. That was a personal fight because I don't know if you know, in England, Lennox, you know Uncle Tom, you know Uncle Tom.
Yeah, I heard he said that, right?
I'm gonna sue you for that. I'm gonna sue you for that. I'm not Uncle Tom, man. No Uncle Tom. I'm gonna sue you for that. I'm gonna sue you. Wow. You know, you do what you want. You do what you want. You know. You know.
He said he's gonna sue him for that. I'd have been like, wow.
Yeah, they asked him at the end of the fight. They went, Frank, how do you feel? You know, Lennox is the better man in life. I'm still gonna sue him for calling me an Uncle Tom. I'm like, really? You're going to go to the court and tell the court in the UK, this man called you an Uncle Tom. Really? Oh, good luck with that, Frank. You know, good old Frank. Love Frank, though.
Yeah, I would have said, like, I'm going to get you in the ring. Like, I'm going to sue you. Like, wow.
Yeah. That was after the fight. But, yeah, good old Frank. You got to love Frank. Got to love Frank.
Yeah, I like Frank, man.
Whoa. We have, would you believe who's in the house? Mr. Boxing Today is in the house. Can you believe that?
Yo.
The man returns.
Salute
to you, Mr. Boxing Today.
Yeah, man. Great channel, man. This dude knows more about heavyweights than I ever did.
Absolutely. Salute to you, sir. Good evening, Joe, as well. So where are we in the 90s heavyweights? You know what heavyweight that I really liked? And a lot of people never understood it. Gary Mason. I liked Gary Mason.
Yeah, that was a good fight too. I hadn't seen him until he fought Lewis too. That was a good fight. Yeah.
I don't know why Mason took that fight. He was ranked number 4 in the world. His next fight was a world title fight against George Foreman. Lennox Lewis was 14 or 15-0.
Yeah.
Maybe 14-0. He was European. I think he was European champion, just beating John Chanet, who had beaten Derek Williams, I think once or twice. I'm like, what the hell are you fighting Lennox Lewis for? And Gary Mason went, oh, yeah, well, you know, he was amateur and I got paid while he was an amateur and I want to beat Lennox Lewis. And I thought, bro, what are you doing? I mean, I thought he had the punching power and he had, but then he lost Mason lost all that weight and he came in slimlined and he had that problem with his eye. And Lennox just targeted him with that jab all night long on that eye, over and jab. And I heard the story. In fact, they had the actual punching bag, the long bag, with X's on the bag where they deliberately targeted Gary Mason's eye.
Oh, wow.
So just jab all night long. John Davenport was working with Lennox Lewis in that corner. Just jab all the time. And obviously messed up Mason's eye. And all that won the fight for him, you know? Great fight. I cried that night. Night because Mason was my guy.
Oh, that was your guy?
Gary Mason was my guy. And then obviously Mason got beat by Lennox, and then that's how Lennox became the guy that I liked. You know, because he beat Gary. And Gary's career, he retired, and you know, that was it. So Lennox became the guy to, you know, you know, I'm here to fly the flag for Great Britain. You know, I may have barks for Canada, but you know, I'm a Brit all the way. All right, Lennox. but you boxed for Canada in the Olympics. You know, but you know, I grew up in West Ham. So I'm a West Ham boy. All right, you box for Canada. You con artist. You box for Canada, and you come back here and say I'm doing it for Britain. Okay. All right, Lennox. So, we accept him, we take him on, but we didn't in the UK, people talk about Lennox now, but back in the day, he wasn't liked because it was
I
Bruno,
remember that.
it was Mason, it was Derek Williams. They were the
I
British
remember
guys, and
Derek
Herbie Hyde
Williams.
was coming through. But not him. It was not him. They take the picture of the freedom, Mason, Bruno, and Lennox. And Lennox was the guys like, not him. Nah.
Wow.
Don't like the way it comes across. Because he's like, they did an interview with Lennox. They asked him, so where do you see yourself? I see myself as the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'm going to take on all comers. And, you got Mason and Bruno doing their little thing, And you got this guy, Lennox Lewis, talking about how he's going to dominate the heavyweight division. And Lennox was a confident guy. He had a reason to, but I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't like the way this guy comes off. He goes on to become undisputed champion. And, over time, Lennox was somebody that you had to appreciate because he was actually doing the business. He was going to America and knocking guys out.
Yeah.
Which leads me to Michael Grant.
Oh, Michael Grant. Wow.
Let's talk about Michael Grant. Evander Holyfield's mate. We always call him Evander Holyfield's prayer mate. Evander Holyfield's mate. That's it. That's what he was.
Michael Grant's seen a couple of my videos. When I put them on Facebook, it'll show who watched them, and he's watched him and Joe Cortez have watched a couple of my videos. So,
I'm fair, but I'm firm. Joe Cortez. I'm fair, but I'm firm.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Michael Grant.
Yeah, that fight right there, man. Oh boy. I remember when he first fell, George Foreman said he broke his leg. Yeah, because he fell real awkward and
George Foreman. Woo!
Yeah. Right. Foreman was like, I guess he hopped out of his seat on that one. Yeah. It almost seemed like when Grant got into that little exchange, like he didn't, I don't know, it's like he forgot his technique and he just started swinging and then he got caught,
I think he forgot he could get hit back. That uppercut was a sweep. Lennox held his head and hit with the uppercut. Boom!
Yeah.
Come here!
Right.
Oh, take that! Take that!
Yeah, you just see him drop like a sack of potatoes. You just see him flop. Yeah, that was brutal, man.
I tell you, if Anthony Joshua done that against Usyk, got his head, pulled his head down, and whacked him with the uppercut. He never threw an uppercut in the fight, huh?
Yeah, I said that. I was like, I think that's Joshua's best punch. That I was saying the whole fight, like, where's the uppercut? But he wasn't getting close enough hardly to even throw it. He just kept, doing the little jab, and I'm like, oh man, like you're fighting Usyk fight right now.
There we go. Question's been asked. How far do you think Bwtm would have gone if his career didn't get derailed? You know that guy, the president, is like he's a myth, meaning like there's so much he could have done in his career. So you could say anything about him. You could say he could have been undisputed heavyweight champion. He could have reigned for 10 years. He would have knocked out Mike Tyson and it's losing both. The amount of stories that can be built upon this man. Yeah. And then because of what he did against David Tua, Chris Bird, so there was some form there with him. But the stuff that was built upon, you just think to yourself, it was almost like mythical. Right. Because his career ended before he knew exactly what he could achieve. I don't know how far that guy could have gone, but I'm sure he would have got a world title shot. How do you think he would have done?
I think he was on course to be champion because he had all the tools. He could punch. He had stamina. He could take a punch. Yeah, and I think he would have been an all-time great. He's
You see what I mean? Yeah. All-time great. And the guy had fought Chris Bird and what's the other guy's name? And David Tua. And we all can say he could be an all-time great. Nobody ever says about that guy, it was a fraud. Yeah. Nobody ever says it. Nobody says, that guy, I may have been champion. Everyone's sure he would either be an all-time great or a great champion, And you wonder, would he have achieved those things? Really interesting to see.
Yeah, I was like, man, this guy's going toe to toe with David Tua for 12 rounds. At the time, it was the most punches ever thrown in a heavyweight fight as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had never seen him again until that fight. I'm like, where did he come from? I'm like,
Wow, big danger, man. Mr. Boxing today asked, Grant got destroyed that night. He showed heart getting back up, but was overwhelmed by Lennox. Grant's best performance was the Galata fight. Yeah.
yeah, right. I agree.
Galata turns up again.
Yeah, I remember that fight. Right. Yeah.
Who else was in the heavyweight division that we Oliver McCall?
Grant had to show some heart in that fight because he got knocked down, didn't he?
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Alex Stewart was a strange one. Alex Stewart.
Oh, I remember.
He gave Holyfield problems.
Yeah.
And
he
gave
messed
George
up
problems as well.
Yeah, he messed Foreman's face up.
But then when Mike Tyson hit him, that was that.
Right.
I'm like, the George Foreman hit you, you stuck around. Holyfield hits you, you stick around. Mike hits you, you stay down.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. Couldn't understand it.
I think Mike scared people so silly that they were kind of beat before the bell sounded. Like he just scared people so bad.
Michael Spinks, sorry.
Oh no, that's all.
Who said that? Michael Spinks.
Michael Spinks. Yeah, who was that said they saw Michael Spinks' pulse beating like this in the dressing room or in the corner?
I heard that Mike was punching holes in the wall.
Yeah, right.
Before the Michael Spinks fight. I bet Mike wasn't even doing that. I bet somebody had a hammer and a nail going dum 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 dum.
Yeah, trying to intimidate him before the fight.
Yeah, and Spinks in the corner.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
Man.
I mean, some of the stories, I don't know how true it was. Mike was punching holes in the wall. But of course, that was all about the Mike Tyson,
Mystique. Yeah.
Roy's commentary during the Ikiabuchi fight with Chris Bird was hilarious, especially when Ike started hurting Chris. Yes, absolutely.
One of those fights that Chris Bird threw up after the fight too, but I can't remember who it was. I think it was against James Thunder. I think it was a fight he won, and then afterwards they said he was in the back throwing up.
Oh, could have been adrenaline. Yeah, wow. Do you know one of the heavyweights that really I followed his journey? I thought it was an amazing journey. George Foreman. Yeah. Foreman's run in the 90s, where he went and he went in the end and knocked out Nakamura. And when he signed up to have that fight, I thought to myself, you know what? George knows one thing: if he lands a big right hand on Mora's chin, Mora's going to sleep.
Yeah. And he had a way of like he would jab and kind of hide his right behind it. So I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Me and my friend were watching that fight, and he said the whole fight, he's like, why is Moore standing that close to Foreman? And I didn't get it. I was like, yeah, I don't know. But he saw it before it happened. He's like, he is way too close. And Michael Moore said he was actually out on his feet before that knockout punch. He said the punch he hit me with before that, he said I was actually out right there.
Wow. Yeah. Michael Moore, he was pretty decent as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was one of the best light heavyweights.
Yeah, he was knocking people out crazy.
Yeah, he was tough. Yeah, he was better at light heavyweight than actually heavyweight to me.
Heavyweight. Yeah. Gotta mention Chris Bird, another one that's been on the channel.
Yeah, Chris Bird was tricky. Yeah.
His win against Vitaly Klitschko.
Wow, I remember that. Yeah. Didn't Klitschko have a shoulder? He quit.
Yeah, and I think that fight may have been in America, and the Americans hated him for that. They said that he had no heart.
Yeah.
And that's why when he came back to America to fight Lennox Lewis, he put on the performance he did.
I was at that fight. That's where I met James Bashir at that fight.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, I met him there.
I remember when Larry Merchant asked Lennox about the fight. I don't know what you're talking about, Larry. It's a fight going on. I'd have busted him a bit more. I was just getting to him. Yeah, Lennox, you're lying. Lennox, you're lying. You were exhausted. You were exhausted. Wait, you back to the corner like.
Yeah, that was a tough fight, man.
Yeah. That was a rough, tough fight. But Lennox wasn't in shape for that fight, He wasn't in shape.
Yeah, he was supposed to have fought
Kurt Johnson.
Yeah,
The
Kurt
Canadian
Johnson.
Kurt Johnson. So he played for just go in there, we'll hand the 1-2, Kurt Johnson fall over. He said, you know, after the Kurt Johnson fight fell through, I was looking down the list of the heavyweights. I said, let me have him next. And he picked the wrong Klitschko. If he picked Vladimir, it'd have been all right. Because he hit Vladimir and the chin of Vladimir would have fell over.
Right,
but the fact he picked Vitaly, he picked the wrong Klitschko.
Right. I always said Vitaly was the toughest out of the brothers. Vitaly, because he was kind of he was like tricky. You didn't know what was coming. Yeah, he had a weird style.
And he was a damn good fighter. Damn good fighter.
Yeah.
Good chin, able to control with the jab, that big right hand. Oh, good fighter. Yeah. Good fighter.
Yeah, that fight was like a barroom brawl right there.
Look who pops up. My favorite up-and-coming heavyweights of the late 90s, early 2000s, this is Mr. Boxing Today, was Kurt Johnson before the injuries and weight gain.
I was worried about that fight because of his height, because both of Lennox Lewis's losses were to guys that were 6'2", and Kurt Johnson was around 6'2", 6'3". It's like their rights were like right at his chin level. So I was like, I didn't know if Lewis would underestimate Kurt Johnson. I was kind of worried about that fight if they had fought.
Wow. So, the Lennox Lewis legacy, people say he's an all-time great. The only thing I throw at that is, would he have been complacent in that era? He was complacent in 2 fights. He got knocked out by Oliver McCall, got knocked out by Hassan Rahman. Given you avenged those losses. But those guys weren't great fighters. They weren't good fighters, but they weren't great fighters. The guys that got big fights. But then somebody would come back and say to me, well, Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali. He only had 8 fights. So Mr. Boxing Today can give us his thoughts on that and the legacy of the Lion Lewis. So the 90s. Anybody else in the 90s? The 90s, so many fights to talk about.
Well, I think the most brutal knockout I've ever seen to this day was Ray Mercer versus Tommy Morrison. I think that was kind of graphic.
This is Mr. Bashir probably not going to like me for this, but what about Maurice Harris against was it Jefferson?
Yeah, I just watched that now too. Ooh. Yeah, that was back and forth.
Until that shot.
Yeah, that was.
Where would you put that knockout with the Morrison knockout?
Oh boy, wow, that's a tough one. I had forgotten about that.
Sorry, Uncle Bashir.
I still think the Morrison one, just because the way he was on the rope still taking shots before he fell, it's like he was out on his feet like 10 seconds before he hit the canvas.
You know that referee probably was not a Tommy Morrison fan.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I don't think those referees were ever Tommy Morrison fans, because remember when Michael Bennett done him as well?
Oh
Michael
yeah.
Bennett knocked him out that first round.
Right. Yeah. And I think Morrison was supposed to have a big fight after that if he had won.
Herbie Hyde, he was late to fight Herbie Hyde.
Herbie Hyde, yeah.
Yes, he was going to defend his title against Herbie Hyde, right? And Michael Bennett come out and he put it on Morrison. He put a 3-4 punch piece on Morrison. Morrison against the ropes.
Yeah, he was out. And then he got up like, he looked stunned.
And then Bennett just jumped and went, boop, boop, boop. He thought, oh my God, Ray Mercer all over again.
Yeah, that was a mess, man. I think Morrison's trainer said he didn't really prepare for that fight. I think he was partying or something. Did you see the Razor Ruddock Morrison fight?
Oh yeah, the left hook.
That hook he hit Razor Ruddock with, I'm like,
tip of his chin out. Yes.
Yeah.
Great knockout. Wow.
I don't know how he got up though. Like the way he just flopped down, I was like, oh, he's done. And then he got up. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I think the dumbest knockout again comes with Razor Ruddock. I remember him fighting Lennox Lewis. Halloween night. Razor. I'm gonna be your worst nightmare. Sorry. I should be doing this, Lennox. Lennox, I'm sorry. I can't resist. Right? So anyway, I remember Halloween night, Earl's Court, the fight for the right to fight. Yeah. Was it for the undisputed title? I remember it.
Yeah.
And Razor rolling, I don't know what Razor found on Lennox's shorts. He was throwing a jab with his head exposed to Lennox's body. That jab. And up to this day, I still do not understand why he threw that flimsy jab to Lennox's body. Because as soon as he threw that jab to Lennox's body, good night. The right hand came on top, boom, and Roddick was finished. I still can't get it up today.
I think he was intimidated because when he came into the ring, he was like trying to like seem like scare Lennox Lewis, and it wasn't working. And I think when he saw Lewis was still calm, I think he thought, "Oh boy, I'm in for a long night tonight." So I think I think when you can intimidate, like I said on your platform on the comments, Lewis kind of had that Ivan Drago thing where he could like not say nothing and scare you senseless.
Look at you, mate. He said, "Look at you." The camera had gone, Lennox Lewis. He wouldn't blink. He was like.
Yeah, he just looked. Did you see how long he stared at Shannon Briggs before that fight? I thought he was like in a trance. He was just.
Can I tell you a secret about that fight? Did you know that Lennox was out on his feet in the corner against Shannon Briggs?
I heard that recently, and I didn't know that till I just heard it recently. I thought he was just off balance. I never knew.
No, he was out on his feet. Howard the Shadow Knight, Courtney Shan, and Emmanuel Stewart. Howard the Shadow Knight was in the corner. And Lennox, I did the whole interview. It was an hour's interview, and then found out afterwards it had no sound. But he told me that Lennox Lewis was out on his feet in that corner against Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, that was I remember watching that, and I thought at the time it was a balance shot, but then I noticed he seemed like he wasn't. I don't know, he wasn't swinging back like I thought he normally would. So I was concerned back then. I was like, oh boy. But I didn't know he was out on his feet till recently. I was like, wow, I never knew that.
Out on his feet, absolutely out on his feet. But a great fight, huh? A great fight.
Briggs could punch, man.
Yeah, he had no stamina though. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Like Briggs is like an arcade game, right? The first 2 rounds, Briggs is like, zoop, and also the third round will come, Briggs will go.
Yeah, right.
Empty. What? Briggs, what's going on? I remember him first when he fought Darren Wilson.
Yeah, I saw
his first loss.
Yeah.
He said afterwards, he had asthma. I'm like, this was the guy that was being built to beat Mike Tyson. Do you remember they were talking about finding a guy to beat Mike Tyson? And Shannon Briggs was that guy to beat Mike Tyson. Would he have beat Mike Tyson? You think he would have beaten Tyson?
Do I think Briggs could have beaten Tyson? Nah. I think I don't think his punch resistance was good enough. Like he could have hurt Mike, but I don't think he could have knocked Mike out, or he'd have got Mike's attention, but Mike was just too ferocious.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I remember Teddy Atlas said he left Shannon Briggs after that fight because he said, I didn't know he had asthma. He thought he made it up.
As I said on my show last night, Teddy Atlas stays with nobody. I mean, he stays with nobody after about 2 fights. Useless, absolutely useless. Me personally, I think he's a useless trainer. He might think I'm useless too, but that's why I don't like Teddy Atlas. I think he's a fraud. I actually think he's an absolute fraud. As a commentator and an analyst, yes, but as a trainer, fraud.
I listened to his audio book, and it was so interesting. I was like, this guy's like a mafia guy.
Yeah, he ain't no boxing trainer. Yeah, all the guys. Look at the guys he had Povetkin. Povetkin left him. Mora left him. Who else left him? Timothy Bradley had him for 1 fight. So left him. Mr. Boxing today says, is it me or does Deontay Wilder have a similar style to Derek Jefferson?
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, he does. Except I think Wilder might have a little better chin than Jefferson, but I can see the comparison.
Mercer also beat Morrison in the finals of 1988 U.S. Olympic trials. Wow.
I heard about that, but I never saw it. I heard about that.
Wow. So, go on.
No, I was going to say, I think Tommy Morrison got his start in the tough man circuit.
Wasn't he related to John Wayne or something like that?
Yeah, they said he was John. That's why they called him the Duke, Tommy the Duke Morrison. Yeah, he's supposed to be related to John Wayne.
I just like Tommy. I just like he was one of those heavyweights that I would love to have brought into this era.
Yeah, that left hook was pretty nice.
How would Morrison have done in this era?
Oh man, I think he would have done pretty good, you know, because when he was focused, man, he was he used to have a pretty good punch output too. He wasn't one of those fighters that was kind of just fill you out long. He would just kind of test you with the power punch and then see how you react.
He came.
Yeah. Oh, Ray Mercer said.
Morrison.
No, I was just gonna say Ray Mercer said that was the hardest he had been hit was against Morrison. He said even harder than Lewis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Morrison. Let's say Morrison against the top four. Let's say Morrison versus Tyson Fury.
Oh boy, I got to go with Fury there.
Okay. Morrison versus Anthony Joshua.
Oh wow. Oh man. Oh boy, that's a tough one. That might almost be like a back and forth fight to me, kind of like the Derek Jefferson fight. We were just wow. Who do you say would win? I'm still trying to wow.
Morrison's hand speed. Morrison had good hand speed.
Yeah.
Good combination puncher. Did stand. He would stand in front of Joshua.
Yeah.
But Morrison would go out bombing. He's got faster.
Wow.
He's got faster hands than Joshua.
Wow.
And he would land that left hook. I think.
I think Ruddock knocked down Morrison with an uppercut. So how do you think he would respond to that AJ uppercut, though?
Would AJ throw that uppercut?
Wow, good point. Good point.
And which AJ are we using? Are we using AJ pre-Roos knockout? Or are we using AJ post Usyk fight? Which AJ are we using? Or unbeaten AJ?
I like the AJ that fought Dominic Brazil and Dillian White and Klitschko.
You know about that life, mate. You know about that life.
Right.
You know about that life.
Oh yeah, when they were toe to toe, yeah.
Eddie, get my hold my belts. You know about that life.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't he say don't stand there like you're gonna do something?
Yeah. Don't stop like you're gonna do something. You know, I'm trouble.
Yeah, I think he said you Americans do a lot of talking or something. He said
that Anthony Joshua should have run up on Usyk. That's the Joshua that needs to be against Usyk. That Joshua. Right. Where's he gone?
Yeah, I don't know if that war with Klitschko took something out of him, like because he's had nothing but like tough opponents. I'm like, maybe you should mix in like a journeyman somewhere just to, you know, have a fight where he's not so pressed, you know. It's like he just has tough fights back to back to back. Other than
that's what he likes to say in English, resume.
Oh yeah. Right.
It's resume.
Prince Charles Martin, though, that fight was like, he just
that's what you call giving your belt to somebody, literally saying, don't worry, pay me, I'm going to fall over. And I'm not going to bother getting up. I mean, the biggest giveaway about that fight is that, have you seen Charles Martin fight like that since?
No, yeah, that's the thing, yeah. I mean, he started looking like he was a decent fighter after that.
Until he got hit by Ortiz and he sent him into the phantom zone. He got hit and he thought, did I leave the oven on? Let me check and see if I left the oven on.
Right.
Wait. Did I leave the oven on? I think I left the oven on. Let me go and check if it's.
Yeah, he got hit like, what just happened?
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was winning the fight. It is like, that's the thing about the heavyweights. One punch and everything is totally different. It's like,
who else in the night? Oh yeah, Morrison. We still got Morrison. So Morrison. Joshua, we're not sure. Joshua Morrison.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Joshua based on his Olympic pedigree.
Okay.
The fact that only that. Yeah, but he seems to pull with that jab, Joshua. He doesn't use that jab like Lennox Lewis. So I think
Yeah,
Morrison has a chance of getting in and throwing that left hook.
right.
And actually, no. Morrison by knockout. Joshua is vulnerable to the left hook.
Oh, yeah.
Andy Ruiz exposed that. Dillian White exposed that. Joshua's vulnerable to the left hook. And in fact, Klitschko hit him with a jumping in with a left hook that dropped him. If I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a right hand or a left hook? I think it was a left hook.
Left hook, I believe.
That
Yeah,
dropped
and you
him.
definitely
So,
don't. If you are going to get hit with a left, you definitely don't want to get hit with Tommy Morrison's left hook.
Morrison by knockout. I'm going Morrison by knockout.
I thought when Lewis fought Tommy Morrison early in that fight, Morrison got his attention with a left hook when Lewis was on the ropes.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he was hurt, but it definitely woke him up.
That was one of the best Lennox Lewis's performances actually against Morrison.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how good Lennox looked. Ripped him with the uppercuts and stuff. I was like, yeah. That was dreadlock Lennox Lewis.
I remember Emmanuel Stewart said Lewis went in there like a gang leader that night. So
Lewis.
I watched that fight a lot of times.
Morrison versus Dillian White.
I go with Morrison on that one.
Okay.
I'm not really. I don't know, and I keep saying this like on my page. It seems like Dillian White's legs are betraying him. When I look at his legs, like his legs look like they quiver when he takes, like not even a hard shot. His legs look funny, like they're kind of like Povetkin's leg looked in the rematch with White. It just seems like his legs aren't there sometimes.
Do you think maybe he's not doing the leg work he needs to do because maybe his upper body's so big that he's.
That might be it because I remember when George Foreman made his comeback, he said he would work on his legs like pulling trucks up hills because, I mean, what good are you in the ring if your legs are gone? So Foreman would do a lot of leg work. And, I think he might need to work on his legs, him and Wilder. And, I think that.
Wilder versus Morrison. Woo!
Oh, boy. That's almost I might have to go with Wilder because he has a better chin. But I don't know. It might be who catches who first. Who do you think?
Morrison's quick. If Wilder can time him with the jab, that right hand follows.
Yeah.
And Wilder starts fast. But so does Morrison.
Yeah, man.
But Morrison couldn't get out of the way of Lennox's right hand.
No, he couldn't.
When Lennox started putting them right hands together, Morrison had no answer for it. And I just don't see, Wilder does sometimes overstretch though.
Yeah.
He does overreach. That's where Morrison can count with the left hook. But I think I'll go with Wilder with that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'd definitely pay to watch it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you could pull two fighters from the 90s, now, you've got three fighters from the 90s.
Yeah.
Who would your three fighters be from the 90s?
The top fighters from the 90s?
Yeah. Who would you pull through? You pick three.
To fight this era?
Yeah. You pick three and I'll pick three. Go.
Okay. Definitely Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield.
Okay.
And wow. Maybe Ray Mercer just because of his chin and his toughness.
Okay. Right. I will take Vitaly Klitschko.
Oh,
George Foreman,
yeah.
and Mike Tyson.
Wow, that's a good selection.
I
thought of Foreman and then it slipped. I forgot. Yeah, that's some great choices, man.
So you got three guys that we know can punch. Three guys we know that can take a shot. Yeah. Three guys that are all got decent stamina as well.
Yeah. Foreman never even went down in his comeback. He never even hit the canvas.
No, he didn't. So and he got hit with some shots.
Yeah.
Tyson, I would say, I'm taking Tyson because a lot of them guys would be scared of Tyson before he even got in the ring with him.
Right.
And then when he got in the ring with him, I think he'd tear a hole out of most of them. A lot of the guys today are about promotion. All right. And managers and I'll fight. I won't fight. It's their business people. Mike will come out there. And that Mike got beat by good guys. I'm talking about prime Mike Tyson or Mike Tyson out of prison. He got beat by good guys. So so I'd say Mike Foreman. Well, again, he only got beat by really good guys. And Vitaly Klitschko, well, he had a long reign. He got beat by Lennox, and he got beat by Chris Bird. That's it. Yeah.
And he was really winning that fight from what I remember against Chris Bird, from what I...
Yep, and he was winning his fight against Lennox. I thought he was winning against Lennox Lewis as well. Until he got hit with them big uppercuts.
Yeah. He just had that awkward style, and he was tough, man. Vitaly was tough.
Yeah. Mr. Boxing Today, who would you have in your top 3 heavyweights moving forward into this era? And same with Joe as well.
Yeah.
Interesting to say. So we talked about the 90s and the memories there. Let's talk about 2022. Your thoughts, James Ali Bashir. You said you met him then, back then in the 90s. What was it like meeting Uncle Bashir?
Oh man, it was cool because I was just I was up there, like my mom and me were biggest fight fans. I was with my mom, my best friend. We were just hanging around after the fight, and he just came up and started talking and telling us he had worked in the camp, and he was talking about how I guess he thought something was going wrong that night and he didn't like it or something. But I thought it was pretty cool that, such a guy from Lennox Lewis's camp just came up and started talking. I was like, wow. It was just like, and then I saw him on ESPN years later. I'm like, oh, I couldn't remember his name at the time. I was like, oh, that's the guy, because they were showing the Kronk gym.
Yeah.
I reached out to him on, I think it was Facebook or somewhere, and he actually said he remembered meeting me. I was like, wow.
Actually, as you know, Uncle Bashir was he passed your number on to me today. He said to me that we're going to get the show on. So appreciate you, Uncle. Appreciate you.
Man. Real class act, man. He's a fountain of boxing knowledge, man.
Wow.
If I was AJ, it's a no-brainer. I would have had him in for the first fight with Usyk.
What do you make of the fact that AJ has called Angel Fernandez his head coach, the same guy that was calling, brilliant AJ, brilliant, when his head was getting jabbed off, he was getting hit by Usyk, bang, brilliant AJ, brilliant.
Yeah, I think AJ's kind of mixed up. Like, he's trying to be loyal to people, but it's like about business. I mean, when he looks back on his career, he's gonna think like, why did I do that? Like, you need to go with the best guy. I mean, if they don't understand, that's on them. But this is your boxing career. You got to have the best guy in your corner. And I don't agree with his choice, but I think he feels like he's I don't know. He's more interested in loyalty rather than actually. I don't know, man.
But he's the guy that was Angel Fernandez, without being disrespectful, was the same guy that was in the ring the night he lost to Usyk.
Wow.
He was in the corner.
Wow.
Those are the facts. Yeah. I'm not knocking Angel Fernandez, but he was in the corner that night.
Yep, he sure was. And it makes you wonder what he could do different in a rematch. I mean, what is he going to see different that's going to make AJ take it to the next level? I'd want to bring in. Oh, go ahead.
Well, he did that leave no trainer behind tour, didn't he?
Right.
If you've got a trainer, I want to see him.
He's trying to soak in as much knowledge.
He doesn't necessarily have to be a heavyweight trainer, just a trainer. If he's a boxing trainer and he trains you, I'm coming to your gym. This is the leave no trainer behind tour. If your trainer wants to get famous, join the AJ tour.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
Like,
And then his
he's the
interviews
only
were just
guy.
bizarre. Oh, what's that?
Oh,
Yeah, his
he was the
interviews were
only
just
guy in
weird. Like,
history.
yeah, he started
Oh yeah, them
talking like he's
interviews. Oh
Nino
my god.
Brown from New Jack City, and I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, I'm like, is this the real AJ or was the philosophical AJ the real AJ? I'm like, which one is the real him?
All right. When he was talking about, the first quarter, and he's the main performer, and that he needs to have a team. And I'm thinking, you've been talking to too many guys in real estate. Must be. You must have walked into real estate. So listen to people have a conversation. Goes like, yeah, that sounds smart. I'm gonna operate my boxing career. And that, we're gonna look at the first quarter. In the first quarter, I got my ass kicked by Alexander Usyk. Let's look at the second quarter. I could get my ass kicked by Alexander Usyk again. But guess what? We're going to do exactly what we did in the first fight, in the second fight, because we're going to have the same training we had in the first fight for the second fight. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed because it's like he's got so much talent, so much potential.
Yeah.
And he's done all that without a world-class trainer.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have a trainer that knows how to calm you down and adapt. If you have a game plan and you see it's not working, you don't just say, well, let's stick to it and see what happens. You got to be able to adapt during the middle of the fight, not just, well, we did it in camp and it worked, so let's keep doing it. AJ, I think he might panic when he gets hit with certain shots, so he has to have a trainer that can kind of calm him down, like, dude, you're all right, just.
But the thing is, that's because it was never taught from the get-go how to have a defense. He was always go forward and blast people out of it. So when he started getting hit back, he didn't train for that. He didn't prepare for that.
Yeah.
And Bashir would have given him, just like what they did with Klitschko, they've given him a defense.
Right. I agree. I totally agree.
AJ references Klitschko when he fought the Parker fight.
Wow.
He said, I'll box like Klitschko for that fight. I'm like, why don't you just get Klitschko's trainer in? That would make sense.
Good point.
I don't understand. You had Klitschko's trainer training you in camp before you really can make a decision to become pro. You take Rob McCracken. Why?
Yeah.
Then it never made sense. It never made sense. It just never made sense.
I actually thought Parker might have won that fight when I first watched it.
I thought that the Parker fight was the fight. I said, you know what? You need to change your trainer and you need to leave Matchroom.
Yeah.
I said it. You need to leave Matchroom and change trainers.
Yeah.
But I actually suggested he join Al Heyman at PBC.
Oh yeah.
If he joined Al Heyman, the Wilder Joshua fight would have happened for sure.
Yeah, I thought I was waiting for that fight so long. I was like, are Josh and Wilder gonna ever fight?
They might fight like when Pacquiao and Mayweather fought.
Yeah,
Wilder runs out of money. He has to make a comeback fight, and Joshua's kind of like off his third or fourth defeat because he didn't make the right decision. And I think, we'll bring you back now, Josh, and you can fight Wilder. These are like 48 years old, and you can fight Wilder now. Yeah, for the ages, one for the ages.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The best have to fight the best. I mean, fighters back in the day would have like dozens of fights in a year. Nowadays, it's 2 fights a year, maybe.
If you Keith Thurman, might be once a year.
What is that?
If you Keith Thurman once a year, maybe.
Yeah, once a year.
If you come down for Keith Thurman once a year. Once upon a time, Thurman. I used to love that guy. What happened to him?
Keith Thurman, yeah, he's an interesting guy, man. I picked Pacquiao to beat him too, and people thought I was nuts. But
me too. I picked Pacquiao to beat him. I said,
yeah.
He wants to stay away from Crawford. He wants to stay away from Crawford.
Oh yeah, that's
well away. Because Crawford would wear that body.
I picked Crawford to beat Spence. How about you?
Let's see what Spence does in this fight against Ugas.
I think Coach Bashir picked Ugas to win that fight.
Yeah, he picks Ugas to win the fight. Yeah. There are people who think that Murat might beat Golovkin. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Golovkin. I think Golovkin looked pretty. Last time I saw him fight, he physically looked the best I'd ever seen him look. Like he
Yeah.
looked pretty like he'd been training hard. So I'm gonna go with Golovkin there. Who do you got in that fight?
I don't know. Abel Sanchez said it's 15 months since GGG last fought, and Abel Sanchez says it depends on whether Golovkin trains or not.
Oh, I see.
That sounded a bit ominous.
Yeah, like if he trains or not. Wow. Yeah, I would think he's training. Wow.
Well, if he, you know what, I don't want him to win because I don't want to see him fight Canelo again because Canelo knocked him out this time.
No.
I don't want to see that fight again.
Nah, I didn't want to see the third fight. I didn't want to see that one.
Don't want to see it. I'm not interested. Not interested. So
wait, I said third fight. Wait, how many times did they? Second, yeah.
Twice. You don't want to see a third. Well, you're right. You don't want to see a third fight. I don't want to see a third fight.
I was thinking they fought 3 times. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Thurman and Spence are on a collision course if they both lose their way. What do you think?
Yeah. Thurman and Spence. Who would win?
Spence beats him.
Body shots. Yeah.
Body shots. Shots.
Spence. I think Spence would stop him.
I think so. Your thoughts on Bivol versus Canelo?
Canelo. I'll never pick against Canelo, dude, because he's always in shape. His chin is solid. It's like all he does is he lives like a fighter outside the ring and inside. He's totally about his business. This dude, he's like a throwback fighter. He just trains, goes to his family, trains, goes to his family. So only way I'd pick somebody to beat Canelo is if he goes up to heavyweight.
Interesting.
And he might win there.
He might do it as well, yeah. Dillian White, Tyson Fury, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury's going to obliterate him. I know a lot of people think Dillian is going to give him a fight, but I know anytime you hit Dillian White with the uppercut, the trap door opens and he goes down. So I think Fury's going to study that, and I think he's going to set him up. And then, as much as Fury weighs too, if he puts his weight into an uppercut, Dillian's not going to get up from that. I know he got up against Oscar Rivas, but Rivas is nowhere near the size of Fury. And people keep saying he can go to Fury's body too, but like George Foreman said, guys that don't have a washboard stomach actually take body shots better. So I don't know if he can even hurt Fury to the body.
He can hurt Fury to the body. I saw when Wilder hit him to the body and he slowed him up.
Okay.
The first fight we're talking, but then that was the first fight back for Fury after he had them 2 back-to-back fights. It was his third fight. So it could be the fact that he lost all that weight quickly. He's a lot trimmer now. I don't know. I think leverage is a big thing. Those guys, Oscar Rivas, Joe Parker, they're shorter guys. Fury's a tall guy, so the leverage is different. And for Fury to throw an uppercut may leave himself open to getting hit with a left hook or a right hand, and Fury's open to the overhand right and the left hook.
That's a good point.
People because all Tyson Fury's really fought has been Deontay Wilder. They forgot that Dillian White is not Deontay Wilder. Dillian White is more streetwise than Deontay Wilder.
Oh yeah, more skillful too.
Yeah.
And he's got Harold the Shadow Knight in
the corner.
Yeah, so that's got to help. And I've noticed this though. Do you think Dillian is really 6'4"? I saw him do a stare down with Oscar Rivas, who's 6 feet, and they were the same height. I was like, how's Dillian? I know he's got long arms, but I'm like, how are they the same height? They were like nose to nose, and I don't think Dillian is really 6'4".
Might be 6'3". I don't know, because Derek Chisora's 6'1". He's not that much taller than myself. So I'm wondering myself, well, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. These guys sometimes I don't know if it's if they're wearing trainers at the time or they're wearing
Right.
a
Yeah.
couple of extra inches on their
Right.
shoes. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes, you know. Some people question if Tyson's 6'9" or he's 6'6", 7".
Yeah, I think he's closer to 6'7", but I don't know.
He's a
Heavyweight.
tall dude.
Yeah,
Tall dude.
heavyweights are so tall now. It's like the NBA.
Yeah. Absolutely. Are there any fights coming up that you've got your eye on?
Yeah, mainly besides Fury White, I really want to see the rematch with Usyk. I think that's June 25th or somewhere around that time.
Okay.
Those are the big fights.
How do you think it goes?
Usyk, Joshua, you mean?
Yes.
Wow. If James is working Joshua's corner, I think it'll be a brutal fight that won't go the distance if he works Joshua's corner, because I think it's like Stacy McKinley said, if you get close, you know, they're no longer a southpaw because you take that away from them. So he said that's the only real way to. Yeah, if he fights that way, I got to give it to Joshua because he hurt Usyk in the body to the body in their first fight.
Yes,
so,
he did.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get James in there, he can still win. But I think he'll be fighting on his own, like he said. I don't think it'll be his corner. I think his instinct will kick in, and he'll have to just get rough with him. He can't fight him on the outside. He fight on the outside, it's a wrap. Yeah.
I don't even know who gave him the instructions to do that in the first place.
Yeah. Right. Why would you do that?
Like, people who are not even boxing qualified said that's a bad move.
Yeah.
But he seemed to think it was a good idea.
No, I always said there's no point in having a weight advantage if you're going to fight on the outside. He's not even going to feel your weight, really. Like, you got to use your weight, bump into him, you know, let him put your weight on their back.
Joshua wanted to show that he could box.
Yeah.
And he proved to Tyson Fury that he couldn't box. Unfortunately. So to wrap this up, we haven't talked that much about your channel. So let's talk a little bit about your channel to close things off, and then tell people where to subscribe.
Oh, I appreciate that. I have a page called the J. Roos Theory. It's mainly about heavyweight boxing. You know, that's my favorite division, of course, because things can change like that. So, you know, I mix in some other things when boxing is slow, but mainly heavyweight boxing. Then I started a backup page called in WJ, and please subscribe, everybody. And yeah, I run a respectful channel. You know, I don't talk garbage, and you know, I don't know fanboyism, stuff like that.
Why not? We want that.
I know. Yes. Yeah, you can tell, like I said, when somebody's backing a guy when they can do no wrong, man. It's like, nope, that was right.
You know, I'm going to make a controversial statement here. First of all, I don't rate Devin Haney, and I think that Kambosos will knock him out.
I've never been a Devin Haney guy either. I'm not impressed by him. No, I've never seen. He doesn't knock anybody out either. He just runs around the whole time. I don't even want to watch him.
No, I said Devin Haney's not a guy that I would run home to watch. Oh,
no.
By the way, Devin Haney fights on. I've got to get home. No, I'm staying out. Devin Haney fighting. Yeah. Rocking in the club.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm just like, I saw him sparring too, and he was being real disrespectful to his sparring partner, like degrading him. I'm like, why are you doing that? He's trying to work with you to make you better. He's just talking to him like he's a chump. I'm like,
that's
I don't know about this guy.
The boxing gods are unforgiving. Believe me, they are unforgiving.
Boxing gods. When is the fight with Kambosos?
Isn't it in June? I think it's in June.
In June?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you got Stevenson versus Valdez.
Yeah, it's a lot of people are picking Valdez in that fight, but I think I'm gonna go with Stevenson though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there go on.
No, I was gonna say I don't know too much about Valdez, but I'm gonna go with Stevenson.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Stevenson too. Shows how good Lee Selby was when he lost a split decision to Kambosos. Yeah. Shout out to Lee Selby. He's retired now. But the way he got beaten his last fight, it's a sad thing to see. But yeah, congratulations to Lee Selby. Yep, happy for you.
Wow.
So just to close, tell everybody, I'm just going to put the camera on you. Tell everybody why they should subscribe to your channel. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell everybody why they should subscribe to your channel.
Well, you should subscribe to my channel because I know a lot about the sport. I used to do it myself. I used to say that boxing is like, I know it's a cliche, but boxing is like a metaphor for life. You know, why do you think the Rocky movies have gone from the 70s all the way till now with the Creed movies? Boxing is a metaphor for life. And I just respect the game. I respect the fighters. And I don't talk down. You know, I'm not going to just put down a fighter because he loses, you know. So just come to my page if you want to see honest boxing talk. I talk about the lower divisions too, you know, when there's a big fight coming up. But like I said, my thing is the big boys because that's just what got my interest, you know. So please subscribe to the J Roos Theory and in WJ, the world's most dangerous boxing platform.
Wow.
Yay, yay.
There you go. There you've had it. There you've had it with J Roos. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to do a crossover show. Oh, it's okay. And I guess what? We need to do more of these because you're good crack. You're as I say in Ireland, you're good crack. You're good stuff. Really appreciate it. Been an absolute pleasure talking to you, J Roos, and keep up the great work. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, man. Okay. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, champ.
All right. Have a good one.
So there you have. That's J Roos there. That's the crossover show done. As he said, get over to J Roos, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, all for new channels and people that are out there and doing the business in boxing. Absolutely a breath of fresh air. And that's what we need in boxing. Thank you so much. This has been Bwtm Sports on this crossover show tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to our new channel. Let me just give you this quickly. Put that there. No, that's not there. Oh, it's gone. All right. Maybe not. Subscribe to our new channel. That's let me get the link up. The link's at the top of the channel. It's here. There it is. Just to say again. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We really love the support over there. The Lagos Cricket Academy 2022. Please get over there now and subscribe. This is me. And I'm out. Thank you once again for watching. Much appreciated. Good night.